Former LMPD officer Brett Hankison under the spotlight once again. A lawsuit accusing him now of sexual assault. But the lawsuit also names the former chief and others at LMPD who they say should have known about and stopped Hankison's conduct more than 2 years ago. Jessie Cohen's been digging into the details all day, and she's joining us live from St. Matthews, where all of this begins. Jessie?
Hey, Doug. Well, Brett Hankison, former LMPD officer, is one of the officers that was involved in the Breonna Taylor case. He was also fired from his job just a few months after that March 13th shooting. But this lawsuit here tonight has nothing to do with that case. Rather, it brings us back here to St. Matthews in April of 2018. It was a Friday night, April 20th, 2018, at this Tin Roof restaurant and bar where this lawsuit begins. That's because a Louisville woman says that's where she met off-duty LMPD officer Brett Hankison, who was working security detail in his uniform, only to leave the bar hours later. Now he's being accused of using his former position to sexually assault this woman.
For the last 2.5 years has been struggling with that.
Sam Aguiar is representing the woman who was 22 at the time of the alleged incident.
There's a pattern in practice. He basically had a playbook where he would be working, he was sober, he would meet women, he would add them to his Snapchat, he would befriend them, he would build their trust. And then he would just wait until the end of the night, and he would pick out women who'd been drinking, looked like they were intoxicated, and offer to take them home.
And that's what this woman says happened to her.
Walked her inside, didn't leave, sexually assaulted her.
Aguiar explains the then law student was in a relationship and thought this gesture would be nothing more than a ride.
And when he offered to take her home, she was thrilled. It was a police officer. There was a sense of trust there. She didn't have to pay for an Uber. She was a broke law student.
Aguiar insists that LMPD knew about similar complaints against Hankison, saying this lawsuit sheds light on a systematic issue within the department.
So part of this lawsuit relates to LMPD's failure to supervise and monitor Brett Hankison, failure to investigate him, failure to report him, and basically ratifying his conduct to the point where he knew he could get away with anything and everything that he wanted to without being held accountable.
Now, LMPD tells us that they have reviewed the lawsuit, but that they cannot comment publicly because it is still pending. We've also reached out to the attorneys who represented Hankison in the Breonna Taylor case, and they say they are not representing him in this civil case. And lastly, we did reach out to Tin Roof, and right now they have no comment. Live in St. Matthews for the Night Team, I'm Jessie Cohen.